Well, greetings, good morning guys, gals, ladies, gents, welcome back to a new fishing video. It's always a pleasure to have you along for the duration of the fishing trip and have your support of the channel. Now, we are out on a lovely looking natural lake. Believe me, it's unkempt, it's the way I like my fishing, it's wild. There's spots you can't necessarily access very easy, there's beds of weed, there's silt everywhere. You're hunting about maybe for the odd gravel patch, if you're lucky. And there isn't piles of fish stocks. It's not like some certain run waters that people like to go and fish, which I've got no problem with, but I like my fishing to be a little bit more of a mind bender and a bit tricky and tough. So what we're doing today is we are tench fishing. Unfortunately, on my last trip on this particularly tricky venue, I did lose a very, very nice tench. Unfortunately, that's the way it goes. The hook link and the fish parted company. Took me, I got it out of the, managed to bully it and keep it away from a snag, and then unfortunately went back in the snag, and that was the end of it. Is what it is, isn't it? But I was gutted, absolutely gutted. But yeah, there is some nice fish in this particular lake, but it is a case of really having to work for every single bite. As I say, it's certainly not a chuck and hope water, certainly not a runs water. So today, what we're doing is we are after tench with a chance of carp. It's always a chance of the odd carp, which I don't mind at all. Got the following with me. That's the Mainline Margin mix, and as you can see, it's quite darkened up. It's a healthy helping of molasses, liquid molasses in there. Little bit of corn, not too much because I don't want them getting preoccupied. And yeah, going to be fishing that in conjunction with maggots. And got dendrobinas, lobworms, maggots, and I've got corn with me, and I've got some pop-ups. I'm going to keep it simple. First off and foremost, I'm not going to be baiting too heavily with ground bait to begin with. I'm going to play it by ear, maybe use a PVA mesh bag with maggot, and fish air injected maggot and worm on a tiny micro maggot clip on a low resistance running leisure. Anyway, let's get set up, let's get cast out, let's see if we can make amends for losing a tench on my previous trip. That would be very welcome. But as always, very unkempt water, very natural venues that I tend to pick, that I enjoy the most, far away from the maddening crowds. And yeah, let's crack on. Oh, guys, check it out. Check it out. Check that bad girl out. I was going to say bad boy. Look at that for a towel. Oh, oh yes. What an absolute lumper dumper dumper. So 2 ounces shy of being £9. I ain't complaining. I am not complaining. £8, 14 ounces. I tell you what, it was a gnarly old battle. They're very finicky in here. So yeah, very, very happy with this. Beautiful condition. Cracking scrap. Look at that powerhouse of a paintbrush paddle. Oh. Cracking. Beautiful teddy bear eyes. Just taking on one air injected worm with 2 air injected maggots. Really perfectly balanced. Out onto a nice gravel area in front of me. Let's pull myself back. There you go, guys. £8, 14 ounces of teddy bear eyed. Oh, oh, of teddy bear eyed tinker perfection. Happy days. Oh, off you go, you bullet. That power in that tail, guys. Whew. So just go through with you the little stick mix that I'm using. It is basically my Groundbait that I brought with me. It's the Mainline Margin mix, and that's mixed with a healthy dollop of molasses, a little bit of hemp as well. So it's a bit like a Neapolitan ice cream. You've got the margin mix, Groundbait with molasses at the bottom, then fill up with maggots, then cap off with more Groundbait. Just gives you a nice way of getting some bait out there without having to use anything that's, you know, very, very in the fish's face, like a large maggot feeder, which I don't really like using on some of these waters. I'm not a big fan of maggot feeders crashing in or sat next to your rig looking a little bit obvious. Yes. Lovely. Lovely. £9, 1 ounces. £9 one. That is a venue PB. Feast your eyes on that. Feast your eyes on that. I was getting some grief from Rudd, so I decided to feed 2 different lines of Groundbait, try and split the shoal Rudd to give the Tench a chance, because I knew they were down there. I saw the fizzing. And this old girl, what a clonker, £9 1 ounce. Picked up a rather large air injected logworm. Look at that for a stonker. Let me pull myself back a bit. How's about that for a beautiful mature gravel pit tinker? And what a gorgeous fish. What a gorgeous teddy bear. Just taken again on the link leisure. Fishing quite light with that on the SSG, single SSG, because these fish are a little bit wary and it's quite a silty lake. But yeah, what egg clonker. Happy days. Time to say goodbye. Off you go. Thank you for a memorable trip. Bye bye. Happy days. Well, we are all packed up, but if you'd told me midway through this fishing trip, coming out early morning, doing a short session, if you told me midway through as I was getting hammered by rudd that I'd pick up a beautiful £9 1 ounce tench like that, I'd have probably said, go away, get out my swim. I don't want to know, it's not happening. But yeah, the rudd were a nightmare, absolutely hammering my air injected maggots and redworms. So I decided to try and split the rudd shoal apart, feed 2 different lines of ground bait, just so that they gave the tench some time to move into the spot, and it worked. Obviously I did change baits as well, went onto a massive air injected lobworm. But what a fish, I swear, I like lakes like this, I like my gravel pit fishing for tench. You get some beautiful old looking tench, really old as the hills, but in really good condition. And what a beautiful fish that was. Wonderful scrap, and a wonderful fish to have during what was a tricky trip, especially with the rudd. Now don't get me wrong, I love my rudd, but when you're tench fishing, and they can be a pain when you're trying to fish smaller baits to entice the tench. But yeah, absolutely thrilled guys, absolutely over the moon. Anyway, I'm going to head off. Many thanks to all of you who take time to watch the videos. A lot of you won't realise, some of you will, that I do put a lot of background work into doing groundwork on venues and trying to work out the topography of the lake beds, etc., and trying to find where the fish like to hold up, your marginal shelves, etc. And some people will watch a video and say, well, he's fishing an easy lake, or he's knocked out a good fish there, can't be very hard. Trust me, very tricky waters. So there's a lot of groundwork that goes in, and your support is very welcome via the YouTube channel. You know, it's just wonderful really to have such a good community of ladies and gents who enjoy the videos. So many thanks for that guys. Anyway, I'm risking the wrath of the waffler. I'm being told off at the moment by a bird. So I'm going to head off home. A very happy guy. Many thanks for watching. I hope you're having a good crack of the whip and some good trips yourself, and enjoying maybe some tench fishing, bream fishing, carp fishing, whatever you might be enjoying doing, be that commercials, be that gravel pits, be that canals. Till my next video. Take care guys. Goodbye.